Hello everyone, I am Risperke Bertonico, together with my group mates Ms. Rosa and Ms. Aguiar. Today we are assigned to discuss to you guys the phases of community organizing with its interrelated phases of the SEO process. So, when you say community organizing, it is the process where people who live in proximity to each other or share some common problem come together into an organization that acts in their shared self-interest. And when you say phase, it is a process of change or development. So when you are going to organize also a community, so as a community organizer, it is important that we have a good listening skills, we have the ability to process information, and provide solution of the problem, the ability to identify the needs of the neighborhood, and also build relationship and trust. So now there are 7 phases that we have in organizing a community. First is area or site selection. Another is entry integration in the community, community study or social investigation, spotting of potential leaders, core formation, formation of community organization, and the last is mobilization. Phase 1 is the area or site selection. Of course, when we are organizing the community, you're going to select the area. So here's the criteria that we are going to consider when you are organizing a community. Kailangan in that certain area is they are relatively economically depressed. So, for example, when you are planning to focus on Barangay Gatas, hindi siya papasa sa criteria natin kasi ang Barangay Gatas is hindi naman siya masyadong mahirap. So, hindi siya papasa doon sa criteria na yon. And then, there is no strong resistance from the community. It must have the relative concentration of poor people. And last, there must be no serious peace and order problem. So, dapat, when you organize a community, dapat din safety tayo. Huwag tayo doon sa area kung saan delikado. Here's the methodology that we are going to consider. We have to conduct an observation in the area. Siyempre, pupunta tayo doon. We conduct an informal interview with the residents. Magtanong-tanong tayo, and then also other key person. When we say key person, mean the approach by most people. For example, barangay captain, barangay kagawad, or iski chairman, pwede natin silang tanungin. And also, you have to inquire and coordinate with local officials. Yung mga barangay captain, yun na dapat makipag-coordinate tayo, pupunta tayo doon, sasabihin natin kung ano yung intention natin in that place. Another is we have also to collect data from secondary sources like agency reports. So another is phase 2, the entry or integration in the community. So when you say integration in the community, this is the process of establishing rapport with the people. So how to do that? So we have to live with the community and be valued one's uniqueness and ability or being with the community in order to immerse himself in the poor community and be understanding deeply the culture, the economy, and the lifestyle of that community. So there's a guidelines that we are going to consider. So first is courtesy calls. We have to recognize the role local authorities by paying them visits to inform their presence and activities. Well, of course, we are going to ask permission and advice. We are going to state our mission. So another is adapt the lifestyle. We are going to adapt what is the lifestyle of that community. For example, the way they get dressed. We are be very aware also the way we talk to the people or our expression, dapat din nating i-observe yon kasi baka hindi magustuhan ng mga community people. Another guidelines is house selection. Chooses a modest dwelling which is open and strategic to the target clients in the community. The family is respected in the community, not unless necessary. No member of the family is a member of the local authorities. Another is avoid raising expectation by adopting a low-key approach and profile to avoid displaying them a messianic complex. Next is we have also a methodology and guidelines for the integration. Here's the guidelines that we have to consider when we are going to integrate in that certain community. Dapat we are also participating the direct production activity of the people. Seek out and converse with the people where they usually congregate, kung saan sila masyadong nagtipon-tipon. For example, in that certain community, doon sila masyadong nagtipon-tipon sa meron silang palayan ba kaya. So, you are going to be with the community. You have to participate also. You have to experience also their activities. You have also do the house chores in the household, like washing dishes, cooking, cleaning the house. In that case, makikita ng community or makikita ng mga tao doon that you are responsible. Makikita nila na you are approachable. Hindi sila magdadalawang isip na lumalapit sa iyo kasi nga nakikita kanila sa lahat ng mga activities doon. Another is, you have to show to the people that you love God by displaying a good deeds. Dapat nakikita kanila sa mga, you're being a role model in that community. Dapat din nakikita kanila na sumasamba ka, hindi kanila na ririnig na you're saying a bad words. Dapat we have to avoid of that. So, let's move on to phase 3, community study or social investigation. We are already experienced this in our Sw126. We conduct a social investigation in the certain barangay. Well, of course, this is the process of collecting or analyzing data in order to draw a clear picture of the community. Pumupunta tayo doon. We are investigating, we are observing, we are there to gather data in that certain community. The purpose is to know what is really the situation and condition in the certain community. In that case, you are going to determine what particular type of methodology of CO that you are going to apply in the community at hand. So here's the specific objectives of community study. First is to gather on the geographic, economic, political, and cultural situation of the community. So, in our social investigation in Sw126, nagawa na natin ito lahat. Yung mga background and rationale sa in that certain barangay na kinukuha natin lahat. Yung lahat ng mga data na dapat nating malaman. Yung mga i-identify din natin yung classes and sectors present in the community. So, in order to determine their interests and attitudes, problems, and issues of the community. And also to determine the correct approach and methods of organizing. So, here's the data that we are going to gather when we are going to have a community study or social investigation. First is geographic and demographic data. Inaalam natin kung where is that barangay located, kung nasa west, nasa north, na coastal ba siya or nasa upland ba siya. As much as possible din, mag-provide tayo ng sketch or map of the place. Another is economic system or type of economic production. Dapat alamin natin yung sources of employment in the area. First, what are the means of production of that area? Is what are the number of site of properties of different classes or factors? Ano yung positions in production of different sectors, and what are the source of the capital, And then where and who controls market of production of the community. Another is political system decision-making structure. Sino ang nagkontrol sa kanila? What are the responses and attitudes of the people in the structure of their decision? And what are the attitudes of the people towards change? So, another is the social system. This is including the agency. What are the agencies, organization, and institution existing in the community? Kung meron man, so dapat din alamin natin kung ano yon. Last is cultural system and beliefs and values. So what cultural media and institutions like radio, TV, schools, church are presented in the community? So inaalam din natin yan. Another is who owns and controls them. So what values and beliefs do they propagate? So in social investigation or community study, we have a methodology and guidelines. First is interview. It may be conducted through fact-finding meetings depending on the objectives of our study. So we are going to conduct informal gathering, social gathering, house-to-house calls, participation and productions activity of the people. Through of that, meetings or gatherings, doon tayo makakuha ng mga information galing sa community na i-organize natin. And then, we have also observation. So, through our observation, makikita natin doon kung ano yung situation at mag-observe tayo. Another is examination of secondary data. So, this method shows that the fact that much of the initial information we need is already available. Next is Phase 4, Spotting of Potential Leaders. In the process of integration and community study, conscious efforts are to identify potential leaders. Potential leaders can assess the organizer by validating data about the community and its people. So here's the criteria for spotting of potential leaders. So belongs to the poor sector and class of the society and is directly engaged in production, well-respected member of the community, desirous for change, and it's willing to work changes, meaning the potential leaders should willing to help and has a desire to help to the community or to help the community organizer. So another is potential leader must not be so talented and intelligent to the extent that consider only his idea superior over the others. So the potential leader should willing to listen its members, not only his idea, but he or she must consider the ideas of others. Next is Phase 5, Core Group Formation. A core group are those individuals from the community selected and recruited by community organizer to help facilitate the formation of the community-based organization. So it involves seeking in individuals of the community who have been spotted by the organizer. The function is to serve as a training ground for bureaucratic collective leadership, helps the organizer gather data for deeper community studies, and also spotting other potential leaders and perspectives of various sectors, and also serves as model to attract other cleaners of the community. So next is, after the core group formation, we have formation of community organization. After the core group has been formed, other members of the community may enjoy forming a community organization. Community organization will facilitate wide participation and collective action in the community problems, need, and other activities of the community. The formal setting up of community organization to be done through the General Assembly, where the Constitution and organization plan are ratified and approved. The creation of working committees and assigned of persons to particular tasks as done during this time. So in formation of community organization, here's the principles: maximum participation of leader, maximum control people, collective leadership, simplicity structures, and General Assembly such as Council of Leaders, Executive Committee, and Working Committee. So this is the end of my discussion. The continuation of this topic will be discussed by my group mates. Thank you for listening. God bless.